What up? It's your girl Motivation with V, and this is Get Real with V, where we're gonna get real, we're gonna get raw, and we're gonna get down to the truth. And I am your host, Veronica Suazo. Welcome back. This is season 2, episode 2. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. Thank you so much for the love. I'm in such gratitude. This podcast is very, very special to me, and I'm just so excited that I get to share people's stories with you guys and give you guys some gems to take away. But today we have a very, very special guest, and I am so honored to have her here today. We actually just did a mini cleanse right before this, so I'm feeling phenomenal. I'm feeling amazing. I'm just in awe right now. And before she introduces herself, I actually met her through Carlos, who I've met back in the days, during the turn up days. And the moment I met her, I felt her presence, like this aura that I can't explain. I can't. It's like a beautiful white light aura around you. And we actually did a mini cleanse slash meditation right before we did Carlos's episode. And literally right after that, I felt so amazing. Like, I can't explain it. I feel like I was holding on to a lot of negative energy. And right after that, I just felt like full of love. And I just remember that day I told Jasmine, I was like, dude, I can't explain it, but I just feel so good. Like, I can't believe I haven't done this sooner. And then I got into meditation. So honestly, it's really thanks to you, because I feel like that moment truly shifted a lot for me. And it put me in a state of gratitude. It made me want to do meditation. And I actually am considering doing more holistic healing with my therapy. I'm actually taking a class right now called mindfulness therapy for those that have like recurrent depression. And we're learning mindfulness. So I'm excited. You really got me into this space where I want to practice it myself and share it with others as well. So thank you. And I'm so grateful to have you here. She's a spiritual coach. So yeah, let's get into it. But thank you. I'm honored to have you here today and to share your story and to see if others out there that are listening can get something from your services or just listening to you. So without further ado, tell us a little bit about yourself and how your spiritual journey began.
Well, first, I want to say thank you for having me. And I wanted to say thank you for that reflection. I appreciate it so much. It's so special to feel that just with that little bit of time that we had, that you felt such an impact to be able to do something like meditating. And it is like really uncomfortable for a lot of people. So the fact that you showed up for yourself and said that, I felt something strong enough to make me want to change a routine in your life, like that is very honorable. And it's something that I hope you really do like give yourself the kudos, because there's a lot of people that will get that feeling and not stick through it. And because it might get too uncomfortable or too hard. So then they don't get to actually reap the benefits of what you can actually change through meditating. So I just wanted to say that, honor you for that, because it's not easy, and it is something that can change your life. So I feel really grateful and honored that I could inspire you in something like that just by the little bit of time we had together, because I've been able to receive things like that from other teachers of mine. So I know what it feels like. So I'm really happy that you felt that from me. So thank you for sharing that with me.
I'm about to get emotional, girl.
No.
I feel like I'm full of love right now, honestly, and gratitude, and I truly believe you were placed into my life for a reason. Like, I've been aligning myself with the universe, my higher self, and I've been asking to be put with the right people. And the moment Carlos was like, "Hey, would you be open to, doing a little meditation and cleanse?" I was like, "Yes, the universe. Yes." And then I just, you came into my path, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you. But I know I kind of skipped over my intro.
No, you're good.
But my name is Melissa. I am a spiritual coach. And I specialize in different energetic healing modalities, such as sound healing, angelic Reiki. I also do chakra balancing, which is all the energies that we have inside. I also do a lot of indigenous practices like limpias, and I incorporate a lot of different plant healing in any healing that I do. So I always tell people that I'm a mesh of different types of healing techniques, because I kind of blend all of the practices that I've learned into one and kind of just made it my own. So I always tell people that if like you're looking for the traditional sound healer, there's so many amazing sound healers that are just focused on sound. And if that's like the medicine that you're looking for, then it's definitely something to look into. But I'm kind of like a blend of different techniques, and I do incorporate my indigenous practices. So I do use like rattles and feathers and palo santo, and just kind of bringing in together my roots with like the more modern sound healing techniques. So I'm kind of a blend of things. But I've been doing this work for about 6 years, a little over 6 years now. And what really got me to do this work was more of something that I didn't plan for. So I had one of my spiritual awakenings when I went to a women's retreat. Um, and this was in like 2017. And I went with my cousin, and I hadn't been to any retreats at all before. I never like had experience with like these types of gatherings where it was just like all women, and they were all there for like holistic wellness reasons. I just was really drawn to it because at the time I was working at a psychiatry practice, and the doctor had his mom work there, and she was a Reiki master, and she was also a life coach. And I really connected with her. She never did Reiki on me, but we would just have really deep conversations. And she never told me like, oh, you should like get into crystals or anything like that. But she had a lot of crystals in her office, and something just kept drawing me to them. And she would kind of stare at me, staring at the crystals, and would be like, are you like feeling something, or like, do you like them? And I was just like, yeah, I don't know why. It just makes me feel something. And it was a rose quartz crystal.
Mm.
And for those that don't know what rose quartz crystals are, they're basically crystals that are from the ground that have specific frequencies that carry through the crystal. And it's basically like a conduit between you and that frequency so that you can receive it in the body somewhere. And with energy, like it can exude and reach out to like 90 feet or more feet further.
Wow.
But with that crystal in particular, I just felt really like some sort of pull was like connecting me there.
Mm-hmm.
And we would have conversations, and I would just kind of like be stuck on the crystal. And then I started looking into crystals. And then after that, like that's where this retreat came up. And I only really had my cousin Rosa. Shout out to Rosa. She was someone that always like really embodied spirituality in my family. And she was my cousin on my mom's side. So she was always really open about her spirituality. And I always admired that. She's younger than me, but we were really close when we were younger. And so when I was on this path, she was the first person I thought of like, who can I go with on this retreat? Because it's not something that everyone's like open to. And it's not something that I don't want to be as vulnerable with just anybody. And yeah, so we went to this retreat, and it was called the Women's Weed and Wellness Retreat. So there was cannabis there, and it was very intentional though. So like you didn't have to smoke, obviously, if you didn't want to, but that was what the connection was, to get people to kind of relax so that you could just be present and just be more comfortable with like doing very like nature-based things. Like we made our own sage wands. We had like
That's dope.
so many different holistic things. But anyway, I went to this retreat and I had never gotten Reiki done before. And even though my boss's mom did Reiki, I never did it with her, but I was always really intrigued by it. And so they had a Reiki person at the retreat, and she, it's funny because I'm like, I always mention this just because some people might say things about it later, but she was pregnant. So she didn't smoke anything or like, she was not under the influence while she was doing Reiki to me or anything like that. So I just want to kind of give that as like a disclosure, because some people could be like, oh, well, she might have just said those things to you because she was high, but it's not like that. So she was pregnant.
She was sober, y'all.
Yeah. So so there was this Reiki lady there, and she was pregnant, and me and my cousin kept contemplating like whether or not to do it. And I was like, I don't know, I just feel like I should just try. And she was like, do it, cousin. She's always so like encouraging. So she was like, just do it. You never know what message you might need to hear. So she did it first, and she felt great. Like she told me how she felt after, and it was really powerful for her. But my cousin was not like unfamiliar to things like that. And I was at that point. So I remember that we didn't talk much before we did the Reiki, because she was like, oh, have you like ever done this before? And I was like, no, I just heard of it and I was just curious. And she was like, okay, so you don't have like something in particular like you want to kind of heal or like work on or anything? I was like, no, I'm just open to like whatever it is. And she was like, okay. So she explained to me, and I guess I can kind of share too. So with Reiki, there's different kinds, but basically it's a hands-on or hands-off energy healing where the practitioner is transferring over energy to the body. So you might feel certain sensations that can come up, like a remembrance of something, or maybe some sort of pain that comes up. And it can be like anywhere in the body. When you go around the energy centers, which are the chakras, and it's like from our spine all the way up to the crown, those spots are a little bit more like easier to feel into. But sometimes there could be things that are trapped like on our knees or something.
Like energy?
Yeah. And so as the person who's doing the Reiki to the other person, you can feel into the body energetically, because you can pick up on like some heat or some coolness or something that's like around the body, that might connect to something else for someone. And so
that's so powerful, I should say.
Yeah. So it's really powerful to be able to like feel into that, and also to get it done by, by someone else for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm bringing that up because when she was doing the Reiki on me, it was the first time I had ever experienced anything like that. And what I felt was like, first, I was like, we were outside in nature. So that alone was really powerful, because we were just around like the trees and all the different energy that was around. But I remembered that like she was like, okay, you might feel my energy here by your feet, but maybe it might come up to your head, or you might feel like me pulling on your energy somehow. She would tell me like, you might feel emotional. You could feel all the things that you could feel when your energy is being like messed with, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like really open and more curious to just like experience it. When we started, I just like got really comfortable in the table, and I was just like, okay, my body's just like getting heavier and heavier. And then I felt like at one point, like I felt my spirit like separate from my body. So I kind of could almost see myself on the table. And then I was just like, this is weird. And then she started to like release things from me, and I felt it, and I would just kind of like jolt. But then one of the most powerful things that happened was when she was working with my head, like on my crown, she just like held space there for a really long time. And then I felt her like lift something like super heavy out of my head, like just like it was a weight. Like I just felt it from her while she was doing it. And it was just so trippy to think about. But
It is.
it felt like a literal, like a weight just got moved. The other thing that was powerful during that session for me was that I felt my uncle's presence. And my uncle, his name is Ugo. And he was like one of my first spirit guides because he passed when I was 10. And I always had a really deep connection with him, and he showed up for me. Like, maybe we'll be able to talk about it later, but just kind of staying on track of what
You're
happened.
good. We can talk about it all.
So I felt his presence in the session, and he just like came in for me in a way that like I hadn't experienced for a long time, because when I was younger I felt like I had a stronger connection with him spiritually. And as I got older, I felt like it kind of just like was there, but not as strong. So in the session, I felt like I got that reconnection back with him.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So all of that was like really powerful for me in itself. And my body felt really heavy for a long time. So I couldn't get up from the table for like at least 5 minutes. And with Reiki, that can be like something that happens, even with sound healing sometimes. But it's just because the body has been through so much movement and release that you just feel depleted, but almost charged at the same time. So you have to kind of just give yourself space to be like, just wait for your spirit to really like integrate with your body so that you can get that charge back up to get up, instead of just feeling like, ooh, I feel dazed and I'm just like gonna walk on air. So I couldn't get up for a while, and then she was like, it's okay. Like because I told her, I was like, I can't move right now. And she was like, it's okay. She's like, you did a lot. And then I was just like, I did a lot. I just laid here. Like, what are you talking about? And then
Your first time, right?
yeah, it was my first time, so I didn't know what was going on. I knew what I felt and what I saw, but I didn't know what she knew or what she felt. And then she just told me to like take my time. She gave me water. And then she was like, as I was getting up, like I finally got like I was able to get up, and she was like, "Can I ask you something?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, have you been interested in doing like this type of work for people? And then I was like, no, I don't even know like what this is. Like, I don't even know what we just did. I don't know anything about this. And she was like, I got a clear message that you're meant to do this for people. And she was like, you have to like learn about it. And yeah, it makes me emotional sometimes to think about.
That's all good. Let it out.
But yeah,
Terry,
so
take your time too.
yeah. It was just such a like there were so many emotions that came from that.
From hearing her tell you that?
Because I had also like had that connection with my uncle, and then I felt like it was just such a gift to feel Reiki, and for her to say like, I was told that you should do that for people. Like, it was like such a heavy honor to feel, and I was just like, I don't know if I can do stuff like that for people. And she was like, no, I got like a clear message, like, you need to do this. And so I went to that retreat because I wanted to heal myself from, I had like had a breakup with my son's dad, and I was a teen mom. So I had my son when I was 18, and I was with his dad and for about 10 years. And it was just from like high school till out of high school. I had a lot of like disconnection from myself. because I was just in school, then became a mom, then became like a house, wife, whatever you want to call it, and fell into like that traditional ways of living.
You feel like you lost your identity a little?
I felt like I didn't get a chance to really know who I was.
Yeah.
Because I was told, well, not told, but my journey was that I became a mom young.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of led me down like a lot of different routes because I didn't really have like that time to explore who I was or understand like what I did like or what I didn't like. And it was all because I was a mom. But I don't say that in a sense of like I regret being a mom or that I wish it was different, because I'm so grateful that I could be a mom, and I'm so grateful for my son. I've learned so much from being a mom, like to my son in particular, because we all have our own journeys and like we all learn different things because we're all meant to like learn different things.
Yeah.
But for me in my journey, I feel like because I was called to do this work and to support others, I did have to like go through my own thing and understand myself, because I've been doing this for 6 years, but I've been on like my path for a really long time. And
Like before you even started the journey
like
of your first experience.
yeah, like I guess what I'm saying is like I've basically been like a spiritual person like all my life. Like since I was a little kid, I always felt like I could connect with spirits and I could feel people's energy, and I just didn't have the language to explain that. And I learned a lot about myself because of this retreat, but also because of my son, because my son is a big reflection of my choices and also like how I was as a kid. And so I've learned a lot being a mom, and I know that being a mom is like one of the deepest like spiritual awakenings you can have, because it's when you do open your third eye, whether you understand it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
So you believe when you have a kid, like that's where your third eye opens up?
Yeah, I
Actually,
100% believe that.
I could probably say that because I feel like moms are just on a whole other frequency, a whole other level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. You
Mm-hmm.
saying that.
Mm-hmm. It for sure does, because with the chakras, the energy centers that we have, right? There's 7 of the like known ones that we have.
Mm-hmm.
They all open up at different ages for us, like physically and psychologically. And with the third eye, it technically is not supposed to open up for women until I think they're like in their 30s. And then for men, I think it's like in their late 30s to mid 40s, I believe.
Damn.
But that is only because of all the different like experiences that happens to us as humans.
Yeah.
And to have that kind of awareness is almost like you're getting closer to connecting like with God, right? Because as we get older, we're going to pass at some point. And so as we get older, like, I don't know if I'm kind of going all over the place with this, but
No, you're good. I like this conversation.
but I say that because as you get older, like you have more experiences, right? And you can be more aware of stuff intuitively. But with being a mom, you are creating this home for another human being inside of your body that's developing other organs and other cells and all these other things that are just happening on their own without us trying to make it happen. It just happens.
Yeah.
Right. And that clicks something in the energy center to say, now you have to be aware of stuff because you have this innate thing growing, and now you have to have that awareness so that you can take care of it. So moms get rushed to experience their third eye, whether they want to or not. And sometimes some moms are not ready for that. And some moms might fight it or might think that they're still wrong or just all these disconnections. But it's a gift. That's why babies are considered gifts, because they're just angels. They don't know anything else until you taint them with things. So when the baby feels like your mom could be disconnected because they're not receiving like that awareness, then you could be disconnected with your mom in certain things.
That makes so much sense. It's bringing me back to like what I'm learning in school about attachment theory and like how it begins in the womb with your parent, with your mom, and then when you come out, mom and dad, right? So powerful.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't even know if I answered your question.
You did.
For what
No,
I did.
no, you did, and you pretty much went into like the other questions
stuff.
out. Yeah, so you're good. You can keep going.
I ramble with stuff.
Okay, so I'm really big on therapy, because like you kind of mentioned, you know, when we're born, we have our parents, and we're kind of guided through them, and then also the way society is, and like meeting people during school or like at work, like everything kind of shapes us, right?
Yeah.
So this is, I feel like I'm learning about your practices, meditation in my 30s, and I'm like, "Ugh, I wish like my mom would have known this, or like we would have been able to like grow up in this kind of like spiritual way." How does sound healing and chakra balancing help us emotionally, physically, and spiritually?
Sound healing, just to kind of give like a background of like how it affects us. And then I'll get into the chakra balancing. So with sounds, I think I'm going to get weird.
No, you're good. Get weird. This is Get Real V, so get real.
So I think as humans, we don't realize how much sound is really around us on its own. So our energies are being tampered with like everywhere. For example, like right now, we're in a studio, right? So there's sounds that we hear right now. Like we could hear maybe the laptop running or something, and then we can hear if someone's passing by, but we can't hear what sounds the lights are making from the beam. We can't hear what sounds the plants are making. You know, like there's other sounds that are affecting our energy all the time without us knowing or without us wanting it to. Same thing when we're outside. Say you're outside and you're like, I'm gonna just go outside and lay down and just be with nature and, you know, feel better, which definitely helps. And it is something I advocate all the time. But sometimes there's trucks passing by, and then there's people arguing, and then you hear maybe someone on a phone call or like all these other sounds, right? And everything carries its own frequency and vibration. So when you're not taking care of your energy and you're vibrating at a level that you're not supposed to be vibrating at, because each part of our energy centers vibrate differently at different levels, and they exude that so that everything stays in a flow. And sometimes when you are not protecting your energy enough, or you're not checking in with your energy enough, and you're misaligned somewhere, and you go somewhere that you're like, I'm not going to be phased by that because my energy is strong or something, right? But you might not be able to pick up on all the different energy around that are exuding sounds to your body. So your body's being affected subconsciously without you even knowing sometimes, because somewhere in your body, maybe you didn't realign something the right way. So you could be doing the right things with everything else, like you're eating, you're working out, you're, finishing your work on time, whatever looks good on paper, you're doing all that. And you're like, why am I not still like receiving what I want to receive or living the life that I want to live?
Receiving abundance.
Yeah. All the stuff we want, right?
Yeah.
But it's because there's something in the energy that got stored or that's not getting enough attention. And so with sound healing, there's specific instruments that are attuned to specific frequencies. For example, I'll give like the sound bowls, the white sound bowls, that those are like the most popular ones, the crystal ones. And there's some that are different tones that are connected to different parts of the energy centers. So they'll make your body react in that space because you're listening to the sounds. So your body is listening to it, and then it integrates through your ears and then goes down to wherever that space is meant to go to, and then taps into the cells to rewire that cell so that your body will react to the sound. And now it's like vibrating at whatever frequency that space was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
So that's why when you can feel so different is because the vibrations are literally changing the wiring for you. And so you feel the effects of the sounds. And that's just like with sound bowls. Then there's like,
that's powerful already in itself with the sound bowls.
right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. And it's obviously it helps you with regulating your nervous system. It helps you with staying aligned with your energy so that when you do go out in the world and things are a little off or very off, you can still maintain your composure and you can still feel aligned and received what you want to receive, because you're vibrating at the right level for yourself to attract those things that you want. But
quick question.
mm-hmm.
Can somebody just do it on their own at home, like the sound healing to get their energy kind of?
Yeah, for sure they can. And that's something that I think people are now trying to do, which is really cool, because I think what the difference is, like with doing it at home versus like you getting someone to do it for you, is just how deep like you want to go. Because sometimes you just want like a quick little, charge of energy that you're like, I'm just feeling a little off and I know that this one connects with this, so let me just do that. That's all good and it definitely will give you like the benefits. But when you're not like aware of how all the energy centers work together and how they affect one another, and you're doing what you wanted to do to like support that one space, you're still leaving all the other ones like, open and vulnerable without enough charge. So that's where someone like me will come in and say like, hey, this energy center is a little off. So maybe you need to start incorporating these foods or this plant or this crystal, these mantras, these things, all the things that are connected to the energy centers that help support that space. Because a lot of the times people like to focus on one area and they think that if I fix this one spot, then I'll be good. Or like, for example, I do workshops where I teach people about the energy centers once a month so that you can really work with the space. And sometimes, which is totally fine, that people like jump into certain classes. But the point is like for you to learn from the bottom up so that you can understand all of them and give it its own proper time so that you can really like incorporate what we worked on and what you felt. And that's how you learn the space. That's how you learn like what I need to do to take care of that so that it doesn't affect the other one. So a lot of the times with my sound healing, I use like rattles, I use plants, I use tuning forks, I use the sound bowls, obviously, but I'll use like gongs. And they're all kind of like mixes of different sound healing tools that are used like all over the country. So like the rattles that I have today are from Ecuador, and then the gong that I have in my studio is like from China, and then my big large sound bowl is from Nepal. Like I have from different places.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that I can, one, honor like where they come from and originate, but also to show people that like sound healing is like universal. Like everyone does it in their own way, and um I just like to mix it all up together to show like really the reality is like we all learn from each other, and we're all picking up things from one another so that we can support each other as humans. And that's sometimes like taking things, or not taking, but borrowing things from people so that you can create like your own type of healing for yourself.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Sometimes, a lot of times, I don't know if I'm just like sensitive to energy now, but I do feel like I can sense people's energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have always felt that way too, but I have a lot of times where I'm like, I need to recharge.
Mm-hmm.
And is that because of like the sound like around me, or it's just my energy is sensitive to other people's energy?
It could definitely be both. So, um, you feeling people's energy is a part of your awareness that is protecting you. So it'll let you know, like, oh, just be aware that this person is feeling this way, and you might react a certain way to it. So maybe stay away. So that's why your body reacts like, oh, and it's not that you need to like do anything about it. It's more of like just bringing your awareness to that feeling of like you're noticing something about this person, and maybe it's best for you to be on this side instead of like engaging with that, unless you want to like shift your energy. So it's always just like your guidance from your inner.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm also like extremely busy, so sometimes I don't have too much time to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do like back to back things, I'm just like, okay, hold on. I need a second. But that makes a lot of sense.
So it's always a protection for us. But you do need to recharge, to answer your second question. Like there's so many things that are affecting us, like I was saying earlier, that we don't even know. But then like nowadays we have so much technology that lets us have to, or almost like forces us to engage with stuff all the time. And we're not meant to be consuming so much pain at once all the time. Like we're just not built that way.
Mm.
And when we are in that state of always looking at all the trauma and all the things that are wrong with the world, it dysregulates us. So, of course, we're going to be mad. Of course, we're going to be frustrated about things because all we see is bad things.
Yeah.
But the reality is, we live in a universe that's dual. So we always have joy and we have grief. So we're always in the constant state of battling grief and joy. But it's when we like to stay in the grief, or we, not that we like to, but we feel so hopeless of like, this is just how it is. And there's nothing for me to be happy about anymore. And that's why it's so important to understand like energy, and understand where maybe we are still missing about ourselves, like what we might still need to be working on. And the minute that we're always like in one side of the spectrum, you can't honor the other side anymore. So with chakra balancing, it's all about understanding and honoring each part of you. And what it does is like, the way I do chakra balancing is I have these, it's kind of like a sound healing, but also like light therapy. So I have this table the Reiki table. And then I have these chakra lights that are infused through the crystals that are clear crystal quartz, and they're on a copper pole. So all of the energy just like radiates and generates down to the body, and it infuses each part of the energy center with whatever chakra might be misaligned or whatever. And at that same time, I'm using tuning forks that are also vibrationally in alignment with those spaces. So your body is receiving light therapy, and they're also receiving the crystals, while you're also getting sound healing that releases the tension from the body in those points, like trigger points, almost like acupuncture kind of thing. And so with that, it does sometimes bring up certain emotions, just like with Reiki and sound healing. When it comes up, it's really just for your review, like for you to see what was there so that you could understand what it was affecting in your life. Because all of the energy centers affect our lives in some way. And sometimes we don't realize that some of those things are not even ours, they're passed down to us. And then people tend to get so attached to their identity and choose not to change because they say this is just how I am. And a lot of the times, a lot of the times that's when people end up self-sabotaging, and then they tend to like ruin healthy relationships, or they miss an opportunity that they could have had or something in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like. But with chakra balancing, it helps you be, one, of course, more self-aware, but it also helps like to make sure that you're vibrationally aligned with each part of your energy centers. Like you can imagine, like it can help you bring in more abundance. It can help you have healthier relationships with people, understand like you shouldn't be investing your time in anymore, how to be okay with not maybe having closure with certain things, how to really just like create the life that you want to live. And it's just that our planet right now is in so much pain, and it's really, really hard sometimes, I know, to like get out of that. But that's where we're meant to go into ourselves more, because it is that time and space to choose like how you want to change and how do you want to like contribute to the earth's frequency. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're all doing. We're all contributing to the earth's frequency. So just because there's people in a whole other country that's in pain doesn't mean we're not being affected by it. Just because there's people that might not look like you or something doesn't mean that we don't affect you. Like we all affect each other. And it's sad sometimes to think about how like there is that side of our humanity that doesn't see it in a certain way.
That has no empathy.
But it's just because of how disconnected we have become as a human race, because we are so attached to so many things. And that's why it's so powerful when we do go out in nature and just sit with the tree or talk to the tree or hug the tree and just connect with like Mother Earth. Like it's a real thing that it helps transmute all the energy that might have been all discombobulated from all the things that are happening, to sit with our actual like land and to be connected to it so that we can get recharged the right way. But that's why it's all about like awareness and just having that like that connection to something greater than you.
Yeah. So pretty much what you do like helps with everything spiritually, emotionally. Yeah. And I'm really big on leading with love and just being a light, because like you said, we're contributing our frequency to earth. And you know, a lot of people in my life has always told me like, why aren't you petty? Like this person did this, like why don't you do that? And I'm just like, one, karma,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
Karma's a real thing. I don't
mhm,
need that in my life.
mhm,
But also too, like, I just want to be a good human being. Like,
mhm,
I just want to give back. I want to be nice. I want to love, and I want the same energy given back to me.
mhm,
And I just wish more people operated that way. But I also understand, like, everyone's in their own journey, and with everything that happens in the world, it's so easy to get sucked into the evil.
mhm,
And so, like, even with the stuff going on right now, like,
mhm,
I'm hurting.
mhm,
I was feeling so emotional. I like
mhm,
had a moment of like where I cried by myself
mhm,
and just feeling the pain of the world. But at the same time, it like fuels me to continue doing the work and
mhm,
continue showing up powerfully,
mhm,
continue putting my content out there,
mhm,
because it does the opposite of what's actually going on.
mhm,
And it sucks because there's going to be people that probably see my content and they're going to be like, oh my God, like, she should be grieving. She should be upset. I am,
mhm,
but I'm also trying to do the opposite so we can help the frequency change on Earth.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I'm so big on that right now. I'm so
mhm,
big on leading by example.
mhm,
I'm just so big on becoming the best version of myself for me, but also to show others what's possible when you do.
mhm,
And that's why I've been showcasing my life. I mean, I pretty
mhm,
much put myself on blast on this podcast for the
mhm,
first season.
mhm,
I interviewed my mom and my dad, and I've
mhm,
had like my own traumas with my father.
mhm.
And to be able to show that to the audience and whoever's watching, I'm just hoping that folks see it and get some sort of inspiration. It plants a seed to also take those steps to heal.
Mhm.
So I just had to,
Yeah.
say that as you were.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, because it's so true. It's inspiring to see like you do that type of work with your parents, because not everyone has that opportunity to do that.
I don't want to do it too late. I don't
Mhm,
want to I don't want to regret anything. And I don't know if it's just me doing the healing work and me becoming a therapist, but I'm just realizing like how important we are as humans and
mhm,
loving each other. And I'm like,
mhm,
it starts at home with my
mhm,
family. And so that's why I'm so big on spreading love.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, it's so true.
So I appreciate this conversation. It's been amazing learning more about your practices and kind of getting some education on it, because I have, no idea how this all works. I just know that it works because
Mhm,
I did it with you once and it completely shifted my thoughts on the practice. It completely shifted. I feel like it's shifted my life, honestly. And I'm an open book, so I love sharing everything and anything.
mhm,
I have nothing to hide. Especially if it could help someone who's listening going through the same
mhm,
journey as me.
mhm.
But just a couple questions before we start closing down. What do you feel your purpose is as a healer, and how do you stay grounded in that calling?
What do I feel my purpose is as a healer?
Mm-hmm. And how do you stay grounded in that calling, especially like how we talked about all the stuff that's going on? It's so easy to get off balance.
Mhm. Yeah. Um so I wholeheartedly feel that my purpose as a healer was something that my mom and dad manifested for me. And just to not make it so long-winded, my mom prayed when she knew she was pregnant with me, because she said that she wanted a girl, and she said she wanted her to be able to help people and to be a kind person and to be able to help my mom, because my mom felt alone for a lot of her life. And so I feel like a part of my purpose is to honor those intentions that my mom has. And my dad has taught me a lot of like my plant medicine healing and crystal stuff. So he definitely contributed to that as well. But I'm just here being obedient. That's just how I feel as a healer. Like, I feel that I'm just doing my part by showing up in honoring the messages that I receive from spirit and from whatever you want to call a higher power. I'm just listening and I'm just doing what I'm told. I don't plan my sound healing things. I don't plan my Reiki stuff. I don't plan my limpias. I go by spirit and I'm just told what to do. Obviously, I have my teachings and stuff that I do those, but a lot of the times it's just that I'm channeling all of it. And so whatever you receive is genuinely just like from source coming through me. And I'm just here as a vessel, like just showing up. That's what I feel. Sorry, you said
How
a
do you
second
stay
part.
grounded?
Honestly, what grounds me the most is to be out with nature, as like generic as that might sound, but also through prayer. And I don't mean like religiously, like in any way. I have my own form of praying. But staying grounded and with nature, Mother Earth, and just connecting with like trees and plants and just being with that energy and just like connecting with spirit and always just staying in communication. Those are the two things that really help me stay grounded throughout whatever, like in any way. But yeah.
No, that's good, because even for myself, like I don't practice meditation like every single day, but at my internship that I go to, they have a beautiful like garden area, bunch of beautiful flowers, the birds, bees, like it's just beautiful. So I always go out there. Sometimes I'll do therapy there, but I'll use that moment to connect with Mother Nature. And I literally sit there and I'm just like, and I can hear the birds. I can actually see the trees moving, and it's a beautiful feeling. And then that keeps me grounded too.
Yeah, the connection with all the elements is like all the medicine we need.
100%. So that goes into my last question is, what message or wisdom do you have or want to leave the collective with right now?
It's funny because I'm like, I think I just said it. All the elements carry the medicine that we need. Like the element of the fire, the element of the water, the element of the earth, of the air, all of the elements is what carries the medicine for us. And I think if I could leave like a message, it would be to get reconnected with all the elements through Mother Earth. Like honoring.
Touch some grass.
Talk to plants, talk to trees. They 100% can hear and feel all of it. I have videos of me talking to trees and them responding. So
can you show us?
I'll show you. But
I actually saw a TikTok of someone talking to a tree and it started to listen.
Yeah.
I was like, am I high right now?
100%. It's all just about, again, the frequency. If they can feel your energy, they'll respond. But it's reconnecting with Mother Earth is what I would want to leave with everything behind. Just saying, get back to feeling more grounded, getting off our devices and staying away from all the extra noise and just getting reconnected with all the elements, because that was what Source left us with to have, so that we can get connected. So it's like, it's a gift.
Yeah, definitely. And that goes into the I guess my last question. That's the last question. But I mean, obviously, she said connect back with Mother Nature.
I always call her Mama Pacha, but
Mama Pacha.
That's the indigenous way to say it, Mama Pacha. But Mother Earth.
Okay. Connect with Mother Earth. Go touch some grass. Talk to the trees. Maybe put your feet in some water in the ocean,
or even a lake.
Sit there in the sand, grass, and just take in the beauty of the world. Give yourself a moment, reflect, pause, be in gratitude. But also, you can work with Melissa too. So, with that, how can people work with you? Where can they find you? And what do you have going on? What's coming up that they could probably join in on? I'm sure you have a lot of things, a lot of I do know you have your retreat, but that's already sold out,
Yeah, it's
which
sold
is
out.
amazing.
Yeah.
But hopefully for next year?
Yeah, for next year.
Okay.
Or so I am going to be expanding. So by the time I think that you have this out, I might be like either almost close to being done or somewhere along the lines. But I am going to be expanding my office just a little bit bigger to hold more group sound baths with my space instead, because I'm always I'm doing them usually like at different locations, but I'm going to be expanding my office space. So I'd be happy to connect with anyone that wants to, dive deeper with spirituality or just to even get like some sort of meditation reflection. But I have an office in Los Altos. It's on my website at alchemydivination.com.
We'll put it right here.
And or you could also follow me on Instagram at alchemy_divination. And happy to link with anyone that's interested in working together to really expand like your awareness and just really work on ourselves to all heal, because it really does matter collectively, like we talked about, to really be intentional with the vibration that you're giving out to others and the frequency that you're contributing to our world. So yeah, I'd love to connect and make things happen for people.
Yay. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you so much for being on this podcast and sharing your experience with us and what you're doing, because what you're doing is incredible work, and I appreciate you. Thank you for being on here. I am forever grateful, and I'm so honored to be here with you, and I know that everyone listening probably feels the same way. So yes, don't sleep on it, y'all. Hit her up. I'm telling you, she's going to change your life. And if you guys have any questions about my experience, I mean, I haven't done like the full on services that she has, but so far from what we have done, like
There were
amazing.
mini sessions.
Yeah, our mini session, mini at that. Imagine when we do like the actual bigger, like, y'all, my life is about to change. You remember this? I'm calling it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned for episode 3. We love y'all. Stay blessed.
Sending everybody love.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.